Hello friends, welcome to the Urban Homesteading channel from Europe. If today is your first time visiting with us, I want to extend you a very warm welcome. If you've been here before but you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If today is your birthday, I want to extend you a very happy birthday. One of the interesting differences I found between American and European houses, especially how they're built, is when you look at their doors, they look to be very well fitted. And one of the differences I noted is that the doors actually have a lip, as you can see here. So they are not flat like ours all the way through, but they have a lip that ensures a nice, tighter, and more precise fitting of the door. Of course, one of the other differences is the way the switches and the plugs look and their location. That is very different than ours. They have less obtrusive controls. For example, this is a thermostat. And also a very big difference, and this will be a little noisy and I apologize, is actually their toilets. If you look at them compared to ours, you're going to notice that there is something missing here, and that is the tank. And the tank is actually in the wall, and it's operated by a button versus a level on the tank. So this is a significant difference. You can see the button here, and all the toilets are designed like that. As a result of this redesign, I'm going to press the button and then show you in the toilet. There is a much stronger flash action that lasts longer, and it is definitely more pronounced than that we have. Also, of course, there is a difference in the way the houses in Europe are warmed and cooled. They do not use a central air system, and in my opinion, what they use is much more efficient. This is a very unique system in which they use power during the night, where in Europe it is substantially cheaper, and they store it in these units that have thermal bricks in them, and then very slowly they release them when they need them. And also they are thermostatically controlled. And my experience, having been here for a week now, is that this system works very, very well. Now, one can argue that this is obtrusive because it is outside and you can see it, but since this exists in every room, it blends pretty nicely, I think, in general with the house, and I think it's a very good idea. Also, of course, there is a difference in the way the houses in Europe are warmed and cooled. They do not use a central air system, and in my opinion, what they use is much more efficient. This is a very unique system in which they use power during the night, where in Europe it is substantially cheaper, and they store it in these units that have thermal bricks in them, and then very slowly they release them when they need them. And also they are thermostatically controlled. And my experience, having been here for a week now, is that this system works very, very well. Now, one can argue that this is obtrusive because it is outside and you can see it, but since this exists in every room, it blends pretty nicely, I think, in general with the house, and I think it's a very good idea. Another outcome of the lack of a central air conditioning or a central HVAC system is air conditioning. So European houses have a unit in each room, as you can see here, and this looks very much like the split systems that we have now becoming popular in the States as well. These are very efficient, and if you think about it, instead of warming or heating and cooling the whole house, you only apply the heat or cold in the space that you live in, thus giving you a much more controlled and economical way. The heating and cooling bills in Europe are substantially cheaper than they are here, they are in the States. So this again looks very much like a split system that we're going to use in the States, but this is the common way to cool a room in Europe, and you will find one of these in each room that you want to cool. Also, because the homes here are in general apartment buildings, but in general not like our apartment buildings. One floor is a house, it belongs to the same person, and they live in this. They have virtually in every house a communication system that allows you to both talk and see someone that's outside, and of course you have controls to open the door or deny entry or whatever you need to do. So this is a very interesting system as well, I think. And again, you will find it in most every European house. Now, they tend to have two of those systems, one in a central location like I'm here, and another one in a place that people tend to congregate, for example, a kitchen or a living room. The existence of a bidet, in addition to the normal toilet that again differs from ours because it doesn't have a tank, is also a typical European thing. You will find them in most every European house, and you can see an example of a bidet here, and it is intended to help cleansing. Again, bidets start existing in the States now, but they're extremely common in Europe, and they use them very frequently and for many different reasons. One of the similarities, of course, we have are the plumbing. They tend to have a little different style. They don't have exactly the same with ours, but you know, the cold water is on the right and the hot water is on the left, like we have. And in general, they are very similar to ours. They do have the tendency to have little nooks that allow for placement of soaps or any other small items you want to do. And again, the houses are smaller than ours. They are designed mostly for spending much less time than we do, because Europeans tend to spend most of their time outside the house. Again, you see another example of a heating device here, and that is in a bathroom. And the difference with this is that it is very, very fast. It takes seconds to heat this whole room, and it is very, very efficient. Balconies are very common throughout Europe, and they are a very nice way to get outside the house and in the nature. Their roofs are covered usually with clay tiles instead of our composite ones. And satellite dishes are very, very common, as they are solar systems, as you can see here in this example. And you can see across here again, balconies are very, very common way, and everywhere you look you're going to see balconies. And also this system that allows you to prevent the sun from totally overwhelm you. This is a system that comes down and covers your balcony all the way to this joint that you see there. And of course, having plants and flowers is extremely common and bring the nature very, very close to you. Houses are very well built in Europe, and as I posted last week, they don't use stick construction, but instead they use rebar and brick, and houses tend to last here many, many years. And when I say many, many years, there are houses that people live that were built 200 years ago. In any case, I hope that this short video showing you the difference between European and American style of living and construction of houses was useful. And if it was, please smash that like button. If it wasn't, the other button works as well. Share, like, subscribe, and I will return to the US next week and resume our normal videos. I just wanted, since I'm here in Europe, to try to make some videos that are different, but at the same time they show you some differences in the homes here versus in the United States. From the Grass Wizard from Europe, I bid you a great week.